The Kortz Center Heist DLC has finally released, which of course added a new heist, the first heist that we have seen since the Cayo Perico heist, a new expansion for your mansion property, some new vehicles, and much more. For the remainder of this video, I will be going through the heist itself, talking you through some different setups, showing some of the new vehicles that have been released, and some great features that make this heist really replayable. Without wasting any more time, let's dive into the video. When you spawn into GTA Online for the first time after updating, you can head over to the Pricked luxury real estate website, and if you have a mansion property, you will now be able to add an additional room called the Art Studio. This studio is one of the most expensive upgrades in terms of properties. The standard price is $4.7 million, but if you guys had the discount from the Fine Art Collector program, it will knock $1 million off this. So just be very cautious if you see that $4.7 million price tag and you know for a fact that you completed the Fine Art Collector program. Maybe I jumped the gun and purchased it too fast, and doing so lost me an additional $1 million. So yeah, just be very careful. When you do get this upgrade, if you decide to get it, you can then go to basement level 2 in your mansion, and you will find the art studio here. You'll then be greeted with a massive cutscene showing off Mr. Faber and Raph, and a completely new character called Young Ray. Ray will be the person who will be making the counterfeit art, which we've replaced for the real art in the heist. After some more time of this cutscene playing through, you will then be in the art studio. You can walk over to this planning screen and begin scoping out the Kortz Center. This part is really similar to the Diamond Casino heist, and if I'm being honest, this entire heist is very similar, just altogether, to the Diamond Casino heist, and I honestly don't think that is a bad thing. When you get to the Kortz Center, you will have to locate the Bell building, and inside here, this is where we pretty much scope out all of the main things. You will first have to head over to the security room, knock out the guard inside here, and access the security camera. When you access this security feed, you will actually be plugging in your AI assistant directly into this, which I thought was a really cool touch by Rockstar. It's nice to see that the AI assistant has some use in this heist. With your AI assistant plugged in, you will now be able to access the full security feed, and this is where we get a really nice insight of what to expect. Different layers of security, a massive vault door, and eventually the main painting that we need to steal. When you are flicking through the security feed, you might also notice different points. For example, the loading bay. I am yet to use this on the heist so far, but this will probably come in quite useful for a different approach. There is also a maintenance room, and it looks like we can enter this from the museum grounds. Another nice entry point, which is the one that I eventually decided to use, was the skylight. I still remember this one from the story mode in GTA 5 and really wanted to give it a shot. Quite similar to other heists, there was also a shutter security room, and unfortunately you will need at least 2 other players, including yourself, to steal the loot out of that room. Very similar to the Cayo Perico Gold in some of them different rooms as well, with the keycards. Once you have had a nice look through the security camera, you can then begin scoping out the rest of the exhibition, take photos of the different artwork and the things in the security cases. Raph at this point will also send you what the buyer wants to get, other than the main artwork itself. There should be 3 of these things to find. Luckily enough, the security cases and artwork will have the names of each thing. As you will see, I saw this one here, took a picture of it, and it was a secondary target in some sort of yellow text, pretty much saying it was part of the buyer's request. This will actually get you a bonus reward at the end of the heist, so it's probably worth just focusing on this if you manage to find it. When you eventually find all 3 and leave the Bell building, you can still scope out around the Kortz Center. I went straight over to the skylight, took a picture of it, and it was then scoped out. I would recommend taking as many pictures as possible. It will probably save you time in the long run, especially if you plan to do this heist more than once. I will definitely be scoping out a lot more in the future, and it also looks like inside the art studio at the mansion, this cardboard cutout of the Kortz Center already has some of the locations scoped. I'm not sure if this is what I have already scoped or not, but yeah, it looks really useful. It seems to save what you have already done. When you eventually finish with the scoping out mission, we now have access to the full planning board, and this is where things look very similar to the Diamond Casino heist. There is a solid amount of setups there, and you can even skip some of the optional prep work, like the EMP charges, power drills, and the glass cutter. The guard shipments will not be paid to skip, but honestly, they are pretty simple to do. Unlike the Diamond Casino heist, it is very similar to the Duggan shipments, just making the guard's armor less strong. In terms of the other setups, I think it really comes down to what you want to do. I went for the Annihilation simulator stealth for the getaway vehicle, the military weapons for the unmarked weapons, which honestly was really tough to complete, the tactical equipment for the infiltration gear, and that was it. You'll see after completing all of the setups and even purchasing the free things, this heist was all ready to go. It maybe just took me over 1 hour to get this set up, and this was arguably probably some of the most time-consuming setups you could probably do. The entry points that I scoped out were the staff entrance and the skylight, and I took a long time in the scope out mission just trying to get to grasps with where the buyer's free things were. Now just remember, this is a solo heist as well, so you will be able to do this completely solo. Only the second solo heist in the game, which is still kind of surprising. You will also get to use a personal vehicle and potentially even a different getaway vehicle if you did multiple setups before starting the heist. I thought that was a really cool addition. Now with this being my first playthrough of this heist, it was really difficult at first, just trying to get a rough idea of what to do first, but it does appear that if you guys have the nano drone, you will actually be able to use this in this heist, take out some guards if you need to, potentially making your life just a little bit easier. After a long time of just rinse and repeating the start of the heist, getting detected over and over again, I eventually thought the best way to get to the Kortz center without getting detected and getting to the skylight would be to come up this dirt road, leave my vehicle just a little bit away from the Kortz center itself, and run on foot. Taking out this guard here, taking out the security camera next to it, and eventually making my way to the roof. Even this took a little bit of time. I would still get detected every now and again, but after some more practice, it did get a lot easier. At long last, I made it to the skylight, completely undetected, and this is where things get really tricky. There is a lot of security cameras and guards, and avoiding them can be a real problem. With the cabinets, you will have to disable an alarm to even break them. To find this alarm, you will have to go down these stairs here, take out the guard near the booth, and the alarm is tucked in the corner. Even doing this, I still managed to get detected, I believe by the security camera. However, we are still smashing glass, so it does make sense. At this moment in time, I haven't found no way to not break the glass and not get detected. From here, I decided to do the heist all aggressive, especially after how many restarts I went through. And if anything, it was actually really simple. There was just a ton of guards to take out. Eventually getting to the main computer, using the code that we got from the setup missions to open the security doors. And this is where things get really good, almost movie-like, with the amount of lasers we have to get through. And it looks like Rockstar also implemented some new features. We can jump on the spot at this section and even lay all the way down prone. Dodging lasers like this is honestly really difficult because the movement is quite clunky, so if you do try this, be very careful. If you also mess up, the lasers will kill you, so another thing to keep in mind. I got burned on one of my runs, literally. With this, you just need to eventually make your way through each section, disabling the power boxes for the lasers. You might even be able to slip through like I did, and because I'm already detected, I'm not fully sure if these lasers will also detect you. I believe that they probably will, but yeah, at this part we now have to do one last hack to get into the vault. This will be a new hack in GTA Online, and it is fairly simple if anything. It will flash 3 times, and then it will show the correct combination 2 times on screen. You then just have to memorize that last one, enter it accordingly, and that will be one of the hacks completed. Just rinse and repeat that, and you then are in the vault. You can also purchase that, sort of similar to the keypad hacker in the Diamond Casino heist, so that you can do this in the art studio to practice. For some reason, it let me get it for free, probably part of the weekly update. This is the best part because now we get to steal the main artwork, and Rockstar have also added some more things there. As you will see, we have to take off the artwork from the wall first, and then we get to pry up the clips of the art. We then move the artwork across, put the replica in there, roll up the painting, and we even get to put the clips back in using a hammer. And just like that, we have got the main target. I am up to 1.4, almost $1.5 million. I decided to steal another artwork piece and tried my best to escape. From this point, because we are doing it aggressive, we don't really have to worry about too much, just getting through the endless wave of guards. I noticed that I was missing the last buyer's request, so I went ahead and picked it up. And this is where we get to leave the Kortz center. We get this really cool cutscene, quite similar to the Union Depository contract for the auto shop. I then went to the roof and got picked up by via the Annihilator stealth. Now, an NPC will be driving this vehicle, or flying it even, so just be very cautious with that. They don't really fly too fast. But at some point, the cops just randomly vanished, so I thought it was actually kind of good. My final take for the heist without any bonuses added on top was just a little over $2 million. The main art piece itself is just under $2 million anyway. The bonus loot just pushed me over that $2 million mark, and because we got the buyer's request, this added just a little bit more cash as well. Unfortunately, I did not get to complete the elite challenge because I did quick restart. However, the time it took to complete this heist, doing the rest of it aggressive, took me just over 13 minutes, so kind of similar to a Cayo Perico heist. And for that amount of payout, especially doing it solo, with all of the Cayo Perico nerfs, that is honestly a really nice payout. What I like most about this heist is the fact we have a decent amount of variety. You could even play Cayo Perico and then run this heist back to back, and we have not really had something like that you could do solo, maybe apart from the Dr. Dre finale, so that is really nice to do. You could even run all three of them things now. At this point, we now have a cooldown for the heist. I am really hoping it is just a 1 hour cooldown. This is something I am yet to test, and knowing how Rockstar are with recent nerfs to the Cayo Perico heist, I could definitely expect a much lower payout if you did it straight away. If you guys also play on the expanded and enhanced edition of GTA Online, the Kortz Center heist will also have some new career rewards, which require you to complete the heist in a different approach. Just really basic things with heists. Try as many ways as you can. I know for a fact that I will definitely be trying all of the approaches at some point and trying to figure out what the best way is, or most efficient way is, to complete the heist. So that was just a first look into the heist itself. A very decent amount of stuff there. I fully believe it could probably keep you guys entertained for hours. Really nice to see. Another note on these setup missions is the fact you will be able to call RAF, and it will save you a ton of time instead of traveling all the way back to your mansion property. Probably one of the better touches by Rockstar. To now finally close this video out, we need to get on to the vehicles. First of all, starting on Legendary Motorsport website, we have the Car2Cia GT costing 2.3, nearly $2.4 million, and we have the Benefactor LRC GT, which is $2.6 million. I think both of these cars look really nice. When you click on one of them, you can actually see they also have the missile lock-on jammer available. There was also a third vehicle on Legendary Motorsport if you have GTA Plus, which is the Veleno GT. That is the one with HSW upgrades. If you have GTA Plus, you can get this for free, and next week it will release for everyone. At some point, I will be buying all of these cars on Legendary Motorsport and really testing them out. The final place where we got some new vehicles was the Southern San Andreas Super Autos website. On this website, we got one called the Laufer, which I probably pronounced wrong. The price of this one is just under $700,000, almost like a minivan. We also got the Albany Marula at just 1.4 million, and the Ocelot E-Stride. I think all three of these cars do look nice. I also like the fact that they are all 4-seaters, probably quite good for heists and stuff. I think out of them ones on Southern San Andreas, the Ocelot E-Stride is the one that caught my eye the most. So yeah, that will really wrap it up for this DLC video so far. Have you guys got the DLC installed yet, or tried the heist itself? If you have tried the heist, what do you guys actually think about it? Which approach did you use as well? And hopefully you had a little bit more success than I did when using stealth. If you guys went on to enjoy this video or found it useful in any way, shape or form, leave a like. I always do appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel and like what you see, subscribe and hit that bell icon to never miss a video. Finally guys, stay safe, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.